has a loved one who passed away helped you find an item that you absolutely love that you just could not locate? And tonight's ghost story is called The Victorian Lady Who Found My Lost Ring. If you love a bloody good ghost story, be sure to hit the follow button because it really helps out my page. And if you really love a ghost story, go find my podcast on Spotify and Apple Music at The Darkening Chronicles. You can binge it. Now this ghost story is from Rosie, another one from Rosie. Thank you so much for sending this in. So Rosie says, "Hi, this is another paranormal story for you that happened when I was living with my mum and dad." She says, "I was 16 at the time when I lost my boyfriend's ring, the one his mother had bought him for his birthday." Oh dear, Rosie. She says, "We lived in an old Victorian house in Camden Town, North London." What a cool place to live. Anyway, she says, "Weeks went by and I'd given up hope finding it. Then one Saturday morning, around 4 a.m, I woke up and looked over to see my sister sleeping. But then I saw what I thought was my sister sitting up, until I realised she was still laying down, fast asleep." I don't know about this. She says, "I was paralysed with fear." Totally get it, not a normal situation. She says, "I tried to shout, but I couldn't. That's when I realised it wasn't my sister. It was a spirit, for the love of God." Rosie says, "She was a young Victorian lady dressed in a long white gown with dark hair. I could almost see through her. She stood up, walked towards my wardrobe, and pointed underneath it." That's pretty cool, isn't it? This part's not so cool. She says then she just walked straight through the wall. Casual. The next morning, Rosie says, the missing ring was found near the wardrobe. Of course it was. This Victorian girl, she had your back, Rosie. Amazing times. Now, coincidentally, we actually have been sent another ghost story of a spirit helping someone find an item. I feel like we're on a little bit of a theme right now, but I've got some really cool stories coming for you. So make sure you hit the follow button and I'll see you in the next one.